Parents, the last thing that I want to do is to come home with your child and follow what you're doing. Let me finish my thought on that. But this is for administrators, it's very difficult. Where do we step in when this is abused? And have we overstepped our power, if you will, by correcting things that happen at home? But here's my stance on it. If it affects your child at school, I have to and want to. And how it can help me is if I have evidence. I can't tell you the meetings that I have. Well, I think so-and-so said this about so-and-so. Well, can you show me evidence? No, but so-and-so told me, and I know for sure. It puts me in a very difficult position. Then I'm questioning one parent to the other, and I'm not going to do that. So having physical copies, and I can see it, and it's affecting school, I promise I will act upon that. And students, the last thing I'll say, when you get to middle school, into high school, and this bullying takes place, again, I don't want to overstate this, but it can lead to suspension, expulsion, or arrest when you get over it. So before you send it, think, because it does not go away. I promise, it doesn't vanish just because you hit delete. And it's important as you get ready to go to middle school to remember that. Last thing I'll say, I used to say before all the technology, and let me finish this as well, I would rather be hit in the nose than have someone say something mean to you. Here's the reason. My nose will feel better in a little bit, but those mean words, they never go away. They never go away. If you've had someone say something very mean to you, you probably can think of it right this second. So think of that. I apologize but that's the biggest question we get asked as school administrators. Where's the line? Where do we, say it's summertime? Do I have the right to step into your child's life or yours in the summer if this goes on? So there are a lot of considerations when this happens.
Yeah, that's a great point. I'm not going to go to show you a little cell phone parenting thing. We're almost out of time in case y'all have questions. But if you look, this is the Common Sense Media website. If you look under parent concerns, and there's tons of information here. The thing that Ms. Moore mentioned, though, there are things under reviews and top picks and family guides. And there's a thing that if we had more time, I would get to it. But there's top picks, and it talks about every app, like Musical.ly. And some of those that I hear a lot about, I know students use, and there's apps coming up every day that students use that talks about the pros and cons of it, the age appropriateness of it. You can look and see. There's just all kinds of information here. And this is very updated. There's also American Pediatric Association. There's all kinds of different websites. This is one that has, to me, a lot of information that's very trustworthy and a lot of research to go behind it, okay? So just to re-emphasize and kind of talk a little bit about sum up, I guess, just be very careful what you say. Like Mr. Drury said, think before you hit that send button or that message that you want to send to somebody. Just be careful about that, okay? And does anybody have anything you want to say? Any questions? Anything y'all want to say with y'all?
Well, just one other comment I'd like to add, and this is something that I share when I'm talking to students about the use of their devices, whether it would be their phone or their laptop. You know, with this social media, you really kind of step into some of that. You don't have to participate. You don't have to participate. I mean, you don't. So consider the fact that, you know, especially when students, and I'm not trying to segue from this too much, but especially if you become too involved in that, studies show that you're not really focusing on what you need to be doing, which is being a fifth grader, right? Focusing on having your friends in person and talking to your family in person and reading and studying and doing all those things, okay? So consider the fact that maybe you don't even need to be. So
Something to think about.
That's all I just said.
Great point. Anybody have any questions or anything you want to say? Yes, ma'am. Elsie. Okay. Yeah, okay, what she's asking about kind of like a bystander position, that do you want to block? Do you really not want to block because as a friend, you may feel like you're kind of thinking you should be, let somebody know if you see something bad about somebody? Is that what you're saying? My response to that would be, that's not your job, you don't have to do that. That's putting a lot of work on you. And I know we do have a lot of people who feel like that's your job as a friend. But I would suggest to disengage from that, like Mrs. Ocknick said, that's not your job. That's something you would tell a grown-up, get a trusted, tell somebody, a parent, a teacher, and say, hey, what do you think about this? If it's bullying or something like that that's continuing, get adult help with that. But you don't have to have that pressure added to you. That's not necessarily your job. Yeah.
I mean, I think this is a great venue to teach the kids, but I think that as a community of parents, we need to have a meeting like this because we don't let our daughter have social media, but friends of hers have social media, so then it becomes this context between us because there's a wedge between like another parent is giving them that as a tool. And I think as a community of parents, we need to have this conversation because it's not the kids that go out and buy the phone. It's not the kids that download the apps. It's the parents that are allowing them to have that choice. And I think that's the communication that I thought we were having today. And that was something that I would rather get into.
And we, I can answer that. We certainly could do that today. I wanted the students to hear also. This has really become for the lower schools something recent. Meaning that fifth graders, and I'm not here to judge anyone, there weren't phones in the fifth grade. There weren't as many opportunities to use social media. So for the lower school, or people in the elementary school, this is something new to address. When all the availability of electronics to the high school, of course, was first, and then the middle school. But again, not to repeat myself, this is somewhat new to the lower school. And I agree, and we were hoping that this may trigger exactly what you said. But I wanted our students to hear this as well, because just to be honest, and fifth graders hear this, fortunately we don't have a lot of discipline issues at Lakeview. But if I were to take this fifth grade group, the most things I've addressed this year has dealt with social media. And so that prompted this. I wanted the students to hear and parents. I think certainly we can do it in a forum where it's just a parental, and it would be an after school where, we could have more.
Right, I mean, the thing is, I make video games for a living, and there's reasons why we are monitored. I mean, anybody that is U13, there's supposed to be a parental consent that has to happen because it's not just social media, it's not just music. These things can happen on video games. They can happen in Clash of Clans and Clash Royale, where you're having a communication that can go beyond that. That, hey, meet me at Walmart. These are the conversations that I've had with my kids and with their friends.
Well, it has happened at Lakeview. I won't say the number of years ago, but when I was in middle school, I had to have the GBI arrest a person, and the student thought they were talking to a fellow teenager. And I eventually had to work with the GBI to have that person arrested. So yes, there are a lot of considerations, there are many, and we'll go ahead and look at a date where it can just be a parent only. I think that's wonderful. But again, I wanted these guys to hear what what we're saying and to be smart in